Smackdown was already electric before the cameras even went live. Drew McIntyre arrived early, focused, stone-faced, carrying the weight of opportunity on his shoulders. Tonight wasn't just another match. Tonight was about destiny. Backstage, Drew walked through the hallway when something stopped him cold. Roman Reigns. The tribal chief stood there calmly, arms crossed, surrounded by an uneasy silence. No bloodline, no chaos, just presence. Drew and Roman locked eyes. The tension was unbearable. Two warriors who had crossed paths before, two men who understood power, dominance, and sacrifice. Roman finally spoke. He told Drew that tonight would reveal who he truly is. He said champions aren't made in the ring alone, they're made by decisions behind the scenes. Roman didn't threaten him. He didn't promise help. He simply said, "Do what you have to do." Roman walked away. Drew stood there, processing it. The crowd never heard the conversation, but they felt the shift. Something had changed. Later in the night, Drew made his entrance for the championship match. No smiles, no hype, just focus. The title gleamed under the lights as his opponent stood across from him, confident, prepared, ready. The bell rang, and the war began. The match was brutal from the opening seconds. Drew McIntyre fought like a man possessed. Heavy chops, spine-rattling suplexes, every move carried desperation and belief. His opponent fought back just as hard, targeting Drew's weaknesses, pushing him to the limit. The crowd was split. Every near fall felt like the end. Midway through the match, Drew was knocked to the outside. He leaned against the barricade, breathing hard, frustration creeping in. For a split second, the camera caught Roman Reigns watching from a backstage monitor. Roman nodded once. That was all. Back in the ring, Drew changed. He stopped wrestling with emotion and started wrestling with purpose. He absorbed punishment. He smiled through pain. He refused to stay down. A Claymore attempt missed. A devastating counter followed. 2 count. The crowd gasped. Drew rolled to the corner, eyes wild, chest heaving. He remembered Roman's words. Champions are made by decisions. Drew made his. He unleashed everything. A brutal Glasgow kiss. A future shock DDT. He dragged himself to the corner, pounded the mat, and screamed for the Claymore one more time. The crowd rose. Drew charged. Claymore. Impact echoed through the arena. The referee dropped. 1, 2, 3. The arena exploded. Drew McIntyre lay on the mat, eyes wide, disbelief washing over him. The referee handed him the championship, and Drew pulled it to his chest like it was the only thing keeping him standing. He had done it. Drew McIntyre was champion. Fireworks erupted. The crowd roared his name. Drew climbed the turnbuckle, holding the title high, emotion finally breaking through his hardened exterior. Then the camera cut backstage. Roman Reigns watched the celebration in silence. No smile, no anger, just approval. Roman turned away from the screen and walked off, leaving one clear message behind. The future had been decided. Back in the ring, Drew looked into the camera and mouthed the words, "This is my time." But the story didn't end there. Because winning the title after meeting Roman Reigns wasn't just coincidence. It was a warning to the locker room, a warning to the champions, and a warning that Drew McIntyre had stepped into a new level of power, one that might soon collide with the tribal chief himself. Smackdown didn't just crown a champion that night. It changed the balance of WWE forever. The cameras didn't stop rolling when Smackdown went off the air, because the real tension hadn't even surfaced yet. As Drew McIntyre walked through the curtain with the championship over his shoulder, the locker room went quiet. Conversations stopped. Eyes followed him. Some nodded in respect. Others looked away, already calculating what this new era meant for them. Drew kept walking. Then he stopped. Roman Reigns stood at the end of the hallway. This time, Roman wasn't watching from a monitor. He was waiting. No bloodline, no entourage, just the tribal chief, calm and unmoving, leaning against a production crate like he had all the time in the world. Drew tightened his grip on the title. Roman looked at the championship first, then at Drew. He said nothing for a moment. Then he spoke. He told Drew congratulations. He said winning a title is one thing. Carrying it is another. Roman said Smackdown just became very crowded at the top. Drew didn't back down. He said he didn't win this title because of Roman. He won it because he took advice, made a choice, and finished the job. He said this isn't Roman's yard anymore. Roman smirked. He said Drew misunderstands something. He said he didn't give advice. He gave permission, and permission can be taken away. The air between them turned heavy. For a brief second, it felt like fists were coming. Instead, Roman stepped closer and said something that sent a chill through the hallway. He said every champion eventually has to answer to him. Roman turned and walked away. Drew watched him go, jaw clenched, eyes burning. He didn't chase him. He didn't shout. He smiled. The following week, Smackdown opened with Drew McIntyre standing in the ring, championship shining under the lights. He didn't celebrate. He didn't boast. He said the title represents survival. He said he survived doubt, setbacks, and expectations. Then he said Roman Reigns' name. The crowd exploded. Drew said Roman likes to test people. He likes to see who breaks under pressure. Drew said he didn't break. He adapted. He said if Roman wants answers, he knows where to find him. The lights cut. Roman Reigns appeared on the screen. He said Drew is brave. He said courage is admirable. But courage without acknowledgement leads to conflict. Roman said Drew didn't just win a title, he stepped into Roman's world. Roman said SmackDown doesn't move unless he allows it to. Then he said something that shook everything. He said Drew's reign has an expiration date. Later that night, Drew defended the championship for the first time. The match was physical, unforgiving. Drew fought like a man determined to prove Roman wrong. He absorbed punishment. He refused to tap. He refused to fall. As Drew lined up the Claymore, the crowd roared. And Roman Reigns' music hit. The distraction was instant. Drew froze for half a second. His opponent capitalized. Near fall. The crowd gasped. Drew kicked out and exploded with rage. He finished the match moments later with a thunderous Claymore, retaining the title. But his eyes never left the stage. Roman didn't come out. The message was clear. Roman didn't need to interfere. He only needed to remind Drew who's watching. The show ended with Drew holding the title high, breathing hard, sweat pouring down his face, staring down the ramp. Champion, target, and now, a problem Roman Reigns could no longer ignore.